You do not need to be a genius to learn as fast as Elon Musk.
You can learn anything you want for free. It is not a question of learning.
I think just kind of throwing yourself into different situations to learn new things is, I think that that's just a big part of life.
You don't need to be a genius in what I do.
The ability to master any new skill in record time is just a simple framework that anyone can copy.
First principles analysis, I think, is something that can be applied to really any walk of life, anything really. It's really just saying, let's boil something down to the most fundamental principles, the things that we are most confident are true at a foundational level.
If you keep trying to memorize information the traditional way, you will fall so far behind your competitors that your business will fail.
I think a lot of things people learn, probably there's no point in learning them.
Colleges are basically for fun and to prove you can do your chores, but they're not for learning.
When Elon Musk decided to build a rocket, people laughed at him. He did not have a degree in aerospace engineering. He was a software guy, but he did not let that stop him. In a Reddit Ask Me Anything, Elon revealed his secret. He said most people can learn a lot more than they think they can. He views knowledge as a tree. He makes sure he understands the fundamental principles first. He learns the trunk and big branches before he gets into the leaves and details. He mastered rocket science by focusing on the core ideas first. Now, you might be thinking that Elon Musk is a billionaire genius with a photographic memory, and you are just a regular person trying to build a business. You think this method only works if you already have a massive brain, but that is completely wrong. The truth is that Elon uses this method to organize his brain because human memory is deeply flawed. When you use this exact knowledge tree method, you level the playing field and unlock your true potential. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build your own knowledge tree step by step. If you've been here before, drop a hashtag believe in the comments below and I can feature you here in a future video. And if you're new, welcome to Believe Nation, the only channel that helps you believe in yourself daily, one video at a time. Believe. Identify first principles. You cannot learn fast if you are blinded by what other people are doing. The biggest mistake you make when trying to learn a new business is copying your competitors. This is called reasoning by analogy. You look at what is already out there and you try to make a slightly better version. This is a trap that keeps you slow and average. Elon Musk does not reason by analogy. He uses first principles thinking. So when he wanted to send a rocket to Mars, he found out that buying a rocket would cost $65 million. Most people would just accept that price and give up. Elon did not give up. He broke the rocket down to its fundamental truths. He looked at the raw materials of the rocket. He found out that the aerospace-grade aluminum alloys, titanium, copper, and carbon fiber only cost 2% of the typical rocket price. He learned how to build rockets by focusing only on the raw materials. You must do the exact same thing in your business. So when I was 19 years old, I walked away from a six-figure finance job. I decided to join a software startup where I was making $300 a month. I was struggling. I was completely isolated and alone. I did not know how to sell anything, let alone scientific software. Instead of looking at my local competitors, I looked at the biggest success that I could find. I studied Bill Gates. I broke down his early strategies to their absolute core truths. I applied his exact raw materials for success to build up my tiny company. Because I stopped copying average people and broke the problem down to its first principles, I landed my first deal for $13,500. So if you want to learn a new skill right now, stop looking at the surface level, write down the absolute facts of the problem. Strip away the opinions, the assumptions, and the industry traditions. Those are usually the worst. Once you have the raw materials, you can then build a completely new and faster way to learn. But identifying the raw materials is only the first step. You still need a place to put them inside your brain. Plant your semantic tree. Most people try to memorize random facts, tips, tricks. This is why you forget everything that you read. Your brain is not a filing cabinet for random data. Elon Musk explained his secret in that famous Reddit interview. He said you must view knowledge as a semantic tree. You have to understand the trunk and the big branches first. If you do not understand the trunk, the leaves and the tiny details have nothing to hang on to. There is a proven scientific reason why this works. It is called schema theory. A schema is a mental slot in your long-term memory. It acts like a cognitive shortcut. So when you learn the core trunk of a subject, you create a permanent schema in your brain. When you learn a new tiny detail later, your brain instantly knows exactly where to put it. So think about this in real life. So I'm a big salsa dancer, right? I met my wife Nina at the salsa studio that I then later bought and now own. But when I was first starting dancing, I was terrible. I wanted to look cool immediately. I wanted to learn the advanced spins, the dips, the crazy hand tricks. But those moves Those are the leaves of the tree. If you try to learn the leaves first, you'll fall flat on your face. You have to learn the basic step first. Forward and back, side to side. That basic step is the trunk. Once your brain understands the trunk, every single advanced spin becomes incredibly easy to learn. So we can apply this to your business. If you want to master marketing, do not start by learning the latest social media algorithm hacks. Those are the leaves. They will change next week anyway. Learn human psychology. Learn why people buy things. Build your trunk first. And once you have a strong trunk, you need a system that actually forces that information into your daily schedule. Also, if you want to take real action out of this video, I made a free worksheet just for you. It covers the top lessons from today, gives you space to write your biggest takeaways, and helps you build a simple action plan. It's 100% free. Just check the link in the description below. I'll see you there. Chunk your time and knowledge. You cannot learn a massive subject all at once. Your working memory, it has a strict limit. In psychology, there is a famous concept called the magical number 7. It proves that the human brain can only hold a few pieces of information at a time before it starts to get completely overwhelmed. To get around this, you must use a process called chunking. You break massive amounts of data into tiny bite-sized chunks. Elon Musk uses chunking to manage his entire life. He runs multiple billion-dollar companies by breaking his day into tiny 5-minute blocks. He focuses completely on one single problem for 5 minutes, solves it, moves on to the next chunk. He uses techniques similar to the Pomodoro method to maintain his intense, razor-sharp focus. And I use this exact same mental strategy when I'm playing games. When I play League of Legends or Minecraft, I don't sit down and just try to win the entire game in one giant move. I break the game down into tiny quests. I focus on finding one resource. I focus on winning my lane in trades. You need to treat your learning the exact same way. Do not sit down and say you're going to learn everything about sales today. You will just get frustrated and quit. Block off 20 minutes. Focus on learning how to write one single cold email. Master that one chunk. Then move on to the next. But even if you chunk your time perfectly, nothing matters if you refuse to take messy action. Force your brain to change. You cannot train your brain just by reading books. You have to actually perform the skill. Your brain is a physical muscle. It uses a biological process called neuroplasticity to adapt to new challenges. Neuroplasticity means that your brain literally reorganizes itself and creates new neural pathways based on your experiences. To force these new pathways to grow, you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, new situations. You have to expect to suck at the beginning. When I decided to start my YouTube channel, I was a massive introvert. I still am. I was terrified of getting in front of the camera. I did not know what I was doing. My first videos were terrible. But I didn't quit. I forced my brain to adapt through just sheer volume and repetition. It took me 350 videos before I could even watch my own content back without being completely embarrassed by myself when I was doing. It took me 700 videos before I finally watched the video and thought, oh my God, I'm starting to get good at this. I built my entire business because I was willing to be bad at something long enough to let my brain learn how to be good at it. Right? You can see my whole YouTube journey. Go back and watch all the videos on my channel. They're all still there. You can see all the mistakes that I made early on. And you can do the exact same thing. If you want to learn a skill like Elon Musk, you have to embrace the pain of being a beginner. Your purpose comes from your pain. The struggle you feel when you are learning something new is just your brain physically upgrading itself. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop researching. Start doing the actual work. Trust that great ideas flow through you and take the first step. Because you have the raw materials, you have the semantic tree, you have the focus to master anything. Now you just need to believe. Your next step to greatness. Everything you want out of life is possible if you just believe in it more. You are entirely capable of mastering any skill you need to build your dream business. Do not let fear or slow learning stop you from serving the world. Take your new knowledge tree and go make something happen today. And congratulations. You're one video closer to who you're meant to be. Believe. Now let's learn what 50 billionaires all have in common. You will never become a billionaire or even a millionaire by following the advice of the middle class. Most people think that extreme wealth comes from luck or inheritance or being in the right place at the right time. But the truth is, it comes from having the guts to concentrate your bets when everyone else is diversifying to protect their ignorance. If you keep spreading your focus, your energy, and your money across a dozen different safe options because you are afraid of losing, you will guarantee that you end up with a life of mediocrity and never reach the massive potential that you were built for. In 2008, Elon Musk was facing the worst year of his life. He had made $180 million from selling PayPal, a fortune that would set most people up for life on a private island. But Musk isn't most people. He had poured almost all of that money into two companies that looked like they were about to die: Tesla and SpaceX. SpaceX had 3 failed rocket launches in a row. Tesla was running out of cash and couldn't make payroll. Musk had about $40 million left. He had a choice. He could put all the money into one company to save it, but that would mean the other would definitely die. Or he could split the money between them to try to keep both alive, but risk running out of cash for both and losing absolutely everything. Most people would have walked away. They would have kept the $40 million and lived like a king. Musk chose the hardest path. He split the money. He went all in on both. He literally had to borrow money from friends to pay his rent because he had zero liquid cash left. On Christmas Eve 2008, at the very last hour, a financing round came through for Tesla. Days later, NASA awarded SpaceX a contract. He risked $180 million to get to zero just to have a shot at changing the world. Today, he's the richest man on the planet. So right now, you're probably telling yourself, but Evan, I don't have $180 million like Elon Musk. And that's not the point. It's not about the amount of money. It's about the habit of your mind. You're playing small with the $1,000 the same way you'd play small with $10 million. If you cannot bet on yourself when you have nothing to lose, you will never bet on yourself when you have everything to lose. So today we're going to break down the actual blueprint. I analyzed 50 billionaires to find out what they actually have in common, and it's not what you think. The trap of diversification. The first thing you need to understand is that billionaires do not get rich by diversifying. You have been told your whole life, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That is great advice if your goal is to preserve wealth. It's terrible advice if your goal is to create wealth and build an empire. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, calls diversification protection against ignorance. He says it makes very little sense for anyone who knows what they are doing. If you know how to analyze a business, if you know your market, if you know your value, why would you put your money into your 20th best idea instead of your top idea? When you look at the portfolios of the ultra wealthy, you see extreme concentration. They find one thing they believe in, usually a company they built themselves or an investment they know inside and out, and they push all their chips into the middle of the table. Bill Gates didn't diversify into real estate and gold when he was starting Microsoft. He was 100% Microsoft. Jeff Bezos wasn't buying stocks in other retailers in 1999. He was 100% Amazon. And the data backs this up. There's a study by Acadian Asset Management that looked at concentrated portfolio managers versus diversified ones. They found that the managers who had the courage to bet big on their best ideas, their top 5 to 10 stocks, significantly outperformed the ones who spread their bets thin. The managers who concentrated their portfolios generated higher returns because they were betting on their conviction, not their fear. You are hurting your own growth by trying to do too many things at once. You have a side hustle and a main job, and you're thinking about crypto, and you're trying to start a YouTube channel, and you're learning Spanish. You are diversifying your energy because you are afraid that if you pick just one thing, it might fail. But by doing 5 things at 20% effort, you are guaranteeing that all 5 of them fail. You need to find your wonderful business. Buffett says if you can find just 3 wonderful businesses in your life, you will get very rich. You don't need 50. You need 1. You need to become an expert in one area. You need to know more about your specific niche than anyone else in the room. When you have that level of knowledge, you don't need to diversify to protect yourself. Your knowledge is your protection. So stop trying to be okay at everything and give yourself permission to be a genius at one thing. Put your eggs in one basket and then watch that basket very closely, like Andrew Carnegie used to say. The power of disagreeableness. If you want to be a billionaire, you have to stop caring what other people think. I don't mean you should be a jerk. I mean you must possess a psychological trait known as low agreeableness. Researchers from the socioeconomic panel in Germany analyzed the personality traits of millionaires and billionaires. They used the Big 5 personality model. They found a consistent pattern. Wealthy people score very high on conscientiousness. They are disciplined and they're organized. They score high in openness. They like new ideas, but they score significantly lower than the average person on agreeableness. This means they are not afraid of conflict. They are not afraid to swim against the tide. They do not need social harmony to feel good about themselves. When you are building something massive, people are going to tell you that you are crazy. They are going to tell you that it cannot be done. They are going to tell you that you are wrong. If you have high agreeableness, you will listen to them. You will try to fit in. You will compromise your vision to make everyone feel comfortable. Billionaires don't do that. They are non-conformists. Look at Steve Jobs. He was famous for his reality distortion field. He would demand things that his engineers said were impossible. He wasn't trying to be their friend. He wasn't trying to be agreeable. He was trying to change the world. He didn't care if people thought that he was difficult. He cared about the vision. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. You have to fight for your idea when no one else sees it. You have to be the one who says yes when the whole world says no. This is why so many billionaires are entrepreneurs. You cannot climb the corporate ladder if you are highly disagreeable. The corporate world rewards people who follow the rules and play nice. The entrepreneurial world rewards people who break the rules and create new realities. So you can ask yourself today, where are you compromising your dream just to avoid an awkward conversation? Where are you saying okay when you want to scream no? Stop trying to please everyone. You are not pizza. You are a leader. Lead. The obsession with speed. Speed is the ultimate weapon. If you look at the daily habits of billionaires, they do not waste time. They understand that time is the only asset that they can never buy back. There is a concept called return on time investment, or ROTI. Billionaires are obsessed with this. They aggressively use leverage, other people's money, other people's times, systems, and technology to make sure that their personal time is spent only on the highest value tasks. When I analyze successful people on my channel, I see this pattern over and over. They don't just work hard, they work fast. Tom Bilyeu, friend of the channel, has a strict routine. He gets up, he works out to build discipline, he meditates to clear his mind, and then he attacks his most important tasks immediately. He doesn't check email first, he doesn't scroll social media, he calls it thinkitating, using his brain power to solve complex problems before the world can distract him. Most people are moving too slow. You have an idea for a business, you spend 6 months researching a logo, you want to start a podcast, and you spend 3 weeks looking for the perfect microphone to buy, right? You're using preparation as an excuse to hide. If you wait until you feel ready, you will be waiting for the rest of your life. Billionaires act on information immediately. When Elon Musk faced that crisis in 2008, he didn't take a month off to think about it. He was on the phone, flying around the world, negotiating deals, moving money, literally working 20 hours a day to save his companies. The speed of his decisions saved him. You need to shorten the gap between the idea and the execution. If you have an idea right now, do something about it. In the next 10 minutes, send the email, buy the domain, post a video, call the client, stop overthinking. Your brain is designed to keep you safe, not to make you rich. Safety is slow. Wealth is fast. The billionaire mindset is about shrinking timelines. If you think a goal will take you 10 years, ask yourself, how can I achieve this in 6 months? Even if you fail, you will be further ahead than if you stuck to the 10-year plan. So a lot of you are waiting for permission. You're waiting for someone to tell you that you are good enough. You're waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. The perfect time was yesterday. The second best time is right now. The ability to handle crisis. You will never reach the top without facing a moment that threatens to destroy everything that you have built. This is the existential crisis phase. Every single billionaire that I've studied has gone through a moment where it looked like it was all over. We talk about Elon Musk in 2008, but look at Jeff Bezos. In a dot-com crash of 2001, Amazon lost 90% of its value. 90%. Imagine looking at your net worth and seeing it drop by 90%. Most CEOs panicked. They folded. They went bankrupt. Bezos didn't panic. He focused on the math. He focused on one single metric, the cash conversion cycle. He realized that if he could get cash from customers before he had to pay his suppliers, he could fund his own growth without needing banks or investors. He turned Amazon into a cash-generating machine during the worst crash in the history of the internet. He didn't just survive the crisis. He used the crisis to become stronger. This is what Nassim Taleb calls being anti-fragile. It's not just about resilience, which is bouncing back to where you were. It's about getting better because of the stress. When you are building your business, you are going to get hit. You are going to lose a big client. Your star employee is going to quit on you. The economy is going to tank. Pandemic is going to shut down the world. If you crumble when things get hard, you are not ready for this level of success. Yet, billionaires look at crisis as a puzzle to be solved. not a sign that they need to stop. They maintain an internal locus of control. They believe that no matter how bad the external situation is, they have the power to fix it. They don't blame the economy. They don't blame the government. They don't blame their team. They take extreme ownership. So when bad things happen to you, do you play the victim or do you become the architect of your own rescue? Your pain is your training ground. The struggles that you're facing right now are not there to stop you. They are there to prepare you for the weight of the success you are asking for. If you can't handle the pressure of a $10,000 problem, life will never trust you with a $10 million problem. So embrace the crisis. It is the fire that forges the steel. They solve the biggest problems. Perhaps the most important thing billionaires have in common is the scale of the problems that they solve. So you are paid in direct proportion to the difficulty of the problems that you solve. If you solve a small problem for a few people, you make a little bit of money. If you solve a massive problem for millions of people, you become a billionaire. So look at the billionaires that we've talked about. Elon Musk is trying to solve the problem of fossil fuels with Tesla and the problem of human extinction with SpaceX. Pretty big problems. Bill Gates solved the problem of putting a computer on every desk in every home. Jeff Bezos solved the problem of getting anything that you want delivered to your door in 2 days. These are not small problems. Most entrepreneurs aim too low. They start a business just to make money. They want to just pay their bills. They want a nice car. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it won't make you a billionaire. You have to fall in love with the problem. And to go to the next level, you have to expand your vision. You have to ask, how can I help more people? How can I serve deeper? You need to find your one word. You need to find the core value that drives you, because when things get hard, and they will get hard, money will not be enough motivation to keep you going. You need a mission. If you're just chasing paper, you will burn out. If you're chasing a purpose, you will be unstoppable. So the billionaires I know, the ones I studied, they're not sitting around counting their money. They are working harder than you and me. Why? Because they're obsessed with the problem they are solving. They are built to serve. So if you want to join their ranks, stop asking, how can I make $1 billion? And start asking, how can I help 1 billion people? The money is just a byproduct of the value that you create. Focus on the value. Focus on the service. Focus on the impact. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. You have a genius inside of you that is waiting to be unlocked, but you are keeping it small because you don't believe in yourself enough to tackle the big problems. The world is waiting for you to step up. The world has huge problems that need your specific genius to solve. So don't deprive us of your contribution because you're afraid to fail. Go bigger. Now let's learn what to do when you're smart but not yet successful. Your intelligence is the reason you're not successful. Being smart might actually be holding you back. Every day I see brilliant people with sky-high IQs lose to others with half their talent. Why? Because intelligence alone doesn't automatically translate to results. If you keep letting your smarts run the show, you'll watch those average people, the ones who show up consistently and push through, leapfrog right over you. And the worst part? The world misses out on your genius. The woman who should have cured cancer might be stuck in a dead-end job because she didn't believe in herself or take action. Think of the tortoise in the hare, the fast, cocky hare, the smart one. Took a nap, thinking he had the race won. The slow but steady tortoise kept going and crossed the finish line first. In real life, too many smart people act like the hare, so confident in their brain power that they get complacent or overcomplicate everything, while the less assuming tortoises quietly grind out the win. Being the hare might feel good at first, but it doesn't win races. I learned that the hard way. In my early 20s, I had a shot at a life-changing deal, selling my first company for millions of dollars. I was trying to be the smart kid with a detailed plan, and I overplanned everything. I spent months crafting the perfect business plan instead of actually doing something. And guess what happened? A big company came looking to buy businesses like mine, but we weren't ready to move. It came down to my company and our biggest competitor, and we lost. And that competitor of ours got bought for $40 million while I was still polishing my plan. $40 million! That stung. I could have sold my business for $40 million, but I missed my shot because I was being too perfect. That failure woke me up. I realized my smart plan was really just fear in disguise. Fear of making a mistake. Fear of it not being perfect. Perfectionism is really just fear. We call it diligence, but really, you're just scared. I decided to become a recovering perfectionist after that. Now, when I get a great idea, I force myself to act on it immediately. Before my brain can come up with 20 reasons to wait, I learned that a half-assed plan that you actually execute is better than a perfect plan that stays in your head. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, Evan, are you saying I should stop being smart? Am I supposed to dumb it down to succeed? No, I'm not saying abandon your brain or act recklessly. I'm saying you have to change how you use your intelligence. Right now, your smarts are running the show and running you into a wall. You probably pride yourself on being the smartest person in the room, but is that working out for you? If you're so smart, why aren't you where you want to be? The truth is, raw intelligence without execution gets you nowhere. You have to get out of your head and into action. Being smart is a gift, but if you don't pair that gift with courage, with discipline, with hustle, it will absolutely hold you back. Don't let your ego or fear of not looking smart keep you from growing. The only thing worse than being seen as not smart is being full of potential and never actually achieving anything. So yes, keep your intelligence, but put it to work for you, not against you. So let's talk about how to fix this. Let's turn your intelligence into an asset instead of a liability. Here we go. Why smart people struggle with success and how to turn it around. Number one, you overthink everything. Smart people can get stuck in analysis paralysis. Your brain sees 20 angles to every problem. You can imagine every possible outcome, and all that analysis leaves you spinning in circles. Sound familiar? You plan and you plan and you plan, and nothing actually happens. Meanwhile, someone with half your brain power just picks a direction and goes. They get results while you're still in your head. Here's the deal. Thinking about doing something and actually doing it are completely different things. No matter how brilliant your idea is, you must act on it. Studies in cognitive psychology even show that excessive deliberation can lead to worse decisions because you start second guessing yourself and overcomplicating simple choices. So what's the solution? Decide and go. Give yourself a deadline to make a decision and then execute. Trust your intuition and start moving. You can adjust course as you go. Remember, real progress happens in the real world, not in your head. Don't let overthinking murder your momentum. Number two, you're chasing perfect and it's slowing you down. This was my curse. In school, you might have been the kid who got A's, who set super high standards. In life and business, those high standards can actually cripple you. You rewrite the opening chapter 7 times and never publish the book. You tinker with your product endlessly because it's not good enough yet to launch. Guess what? Perfect is the enemy of progress. Successful people execute and then iterate. Unsuccessful smart people keep polishing a draft that never sees the light of day. Here's how one entrepreneur put it. You can't refine what doesn't exist. You can't improve a product that never launched. Average performers often beat perfectionists because they're willing to put out good enough and then improve later. My own $40 million mistake was due to perfectionism. I waited and wanted the perfect plan and I was too late. Learn from my mistake. Launch messy. Embrace mistakes. Done is better than perfect. And remember that urge to be perfect? It's really fear. Perfectionism is fear in a tuxedo. It looks respectable, even admirable, but it's killing your success. So punch fear in the face by putting out your work, flaws and all. Progress beats perfection every time. Number 3, you rely on talent instead of work. This one stings, but I've seen it so often. Things come easy for you, right? School, jobs, picking up new skills. You're used to being the best with minimal effort. Meanwhile, others had to grind to get good. And the result is you never develop the discipline and habits that success actually requires. Maybe you breeze through school without studying, so you never learn how to truly study or struggle. You prided yourself on pulling off last-minute miracles or acing presentations with no prep. And it worked. Until now. So when you finally hit something hard, something that doesn't come instantly, you stall or quit because you don't have the tools or grit to push through. Psychology research backs this up. People who think intelligence is fixed tend to avoid challenges that might prove them wrong. But those who believe abilities grow with effort are the ones who persist when things get tough. So natural talent might open the door, but discipline, resilience, and grind get you to the finish line. If you've coasted on talent, it's time to be humble and get to work. Being smart is not an excuse to be lazy. Embrace the beginner's mindset. Push yourself to do the uncomfortable drills, the boring repetitions, the late night study sessions. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Every single time. Number 4, you get bored and lose focus. So let's get real. Highly intelligent people get bored easily. Your brain craves novelty and big ideas. Once you figure something out, doing the actual work feels tedious. You love planning the project, but hate the day-to-day grind of executing it. And I get it. But here's the reality. Most success is built in the boring middle. The book that you want to write, 5% is the exciting idea, and 95% is sitting down day after day, banging out words or editing. And that business you want to build, the concept is thrilling, but actually building it involves 1,000 tedious tasks, paperwork, and emails, and routines. Not exactly fun or intellectually stimulating. The smartest people often struggle here. Isn't this work beneath me? No, this work makes you. Consistency is the secret weapon of the average. Those who succeed are willing to do the uninspiring stuff consistently without constantly questioning, is this worth my genius? If boredom is killing your momentum, fix it by reframing the boring stuff as a challenge. Can you show up and execute even when it's not exciting? That's your new game. Also, systemize your life. Build routines and accountability that keep you moving forward even when you're not feeling it. The ability to do boring things consistently is incredibly valuable. Master it and you'll leave the dabbling geniuses in the dust. Number 5, you live in theory, not reality. Smart people often fall in love with theories and big picture ideas. You might design elegant strategies in your head, craft perfect models of how things should work. But then here's how things do work in real life, which is usually much messier. If you're too attached to the ideal scenario, you can become disconnected from actual reality. So for example, you might refuse to launch a product until you understand every aspect perfectly, or you insist on a plan going exactly as imagined, and when it doesn't, you freeze. Meanwhile, less brilliant people are adapting on the fly and they're getting results. So what's the fix? Embrace reality and adjust. Don't let your beautiful theory stop you from getting your hands dirty. Maybe your strategy should be tweaked. That's fine. Maybe your hypothesis was wrong. Learn and you pivot. Actionable data comes from the real world, not the daydreams. So don't wait for conditions to match your mental model. Get out there, try stuff, and adjust to the feedback. Remember, your ability to learn and adapt beats your ability to pontificate. Stay grounded and stay flexible. Number 6, you undervalue emotional intelligence and help from others. Success is not a solo brain game. It's a team sport. If you're brilliant but can't work with other people, you're going to hit a ceiling fast. Maybe you've told yourself, others just slow me down, or no one can do it as well as I can, right? Classic smart person trap. The truth is, someone with average IQ but great people skills will outrun a genius who alienates others. Businesses, careers, life, they all run on relationships. If you struggle to communicate, to collaborate, or to ask for help, that's a major blind spot. And I used to try everything alone and not admit weakness. It nearly broke me. I was too embarrassed to tell anyone that I was struggling. And that loneliness almost made me quit. I learned that if you don't ask for help, you end up stuck and isolated and far more likely to fail. So don't let the pride or social awkwardness sabotage you. You don't have to be an extrovert or the life of a party. I'm not. Just develop the skills to connect and communicate. Listen more. Be curious about others. Find mentors and accept their advice. If you lack some of the soft skills, learn it. Being smart means you can grow here too. Remember, being right isn't enough. You have to bring others along if you want to do something big. And if you have a big dream, you'll definitely need others. So start valuing emotional intelligence as much as book intelligence. It's not soft. It's the glue that holds your success together. Okay, now let's bring this home. We've identified the traps: overanalysis, perfectionism, coasting on talent, lacking of follow-through, living in theory, and flying solo. These are natural tendencies of a powerful mind, but if you leave them unchecked, they become big barriers. The great news is you can overcome each one. Self-awareness is step 1. If you've nodded along or winced at any of these points, you're already learning where to improve. Step 2 is to work with your tendencies instead of against them. Build systems and habits to counteract your weak spots. For example, if you know that you overthink, set strict deadlines or accountability partners to force action even when you're in your head. If you're a perfectionist, set good enough goals. Deliberately release version 1.0 of a project when it's 80% there. Just to prove to yourself the world doesn't end if it's not perfect. If you get bored, gamify the process or tie boring tasks to a deeper mission that actually fires you up. Practice doing things before you feel fully ready for them. This starts to train you to gather real-world feedback. And if going it alone is not working for you, find a coach, a community, a partner who can push you and keep you accountable. And most of all, shift your identity. Don't see yourself as the smart one. See yourself as the bold one, the action taker, the lifelong learner, the resilient fighter. Yes, you're smart. So use that brain to strategize ways to get out of your comfort zone instead of clever excuses to stay in it. My mom used to tell me, if you have the ability, you have the responsibility. If you can, then you must. And that hit me hard and stays with me. Your intelligence is a gift, not just for acing tests or impressing people, but for making an impact. If you're capable of more, you owe it to yourself and the world to do more. I know there's genius inside of you. Everybody has what I call Michael Jordan level talent or genius at something. Don't let it go to waste because of fear, laziness, or ego. Break the patterns. Do the uncomfortable work. The world needs what you have, and you deserve to fulfill the measure of your potential. Did Elon Musk really sleep on the floors of YMCAs? Check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. You know Elon Musk today as the billionaire innovator sending rockets to Mars and building electric cars. But rewind a few decades and picture a young Elon with barely $1 to his name, crashing on an office couch and showering at the YMCA.